Brianna Chickenfry seems to be probably like one of the most hated people on the internet. I'm gonna be so real with you guys, like jumping into this, I don't exactly know why. Like, I can't pinpoint the exact reason. Say, for example, I know why so many people are like anti James Charles, because obviously they say things about his past and whatnot and what he has done before. All those things I totally get. However, with Brianna Chickenfry, it just seems to be multiple people coming out saying that they don't like her. But then I'm just kind of like, okay, what's everyone's like major beef with her? Is it just because like maybe she's just a bitch? Maybe she's snooty? Maybe she thinks that she's better than everybody? That's kind of the vibes that I would get. I really feel like she blew up quickly on social media, and that sometimes can get to people's heads. And I feel like it lets it, like it gets the best of them, and they feel like all of a sudden they're the hot shit. I kind of get those vibes from Brianna. Today, we're going to be talking about a famous TikToker, and y'all, I love that everybody was calling everybody out right before the TikTok ban. And then also, too, I don't know if you guys saw, everyone was coming out and saying like, oh, since, the TikTok ban's coming to an end, I want to say this was a lie, that was a lie. And I'm like, y'all look shady. Like, you guys are coming forward and saying all of these things, and then the ban didn't fully kick in yet. I do think that they, in my personal opinion, I feel like they're going to work something out, but they do still have 75 more days until like the ban goes into effect. Well, it's less than 75 at this point, but you guys get what I'm saying. I just love how everybody was outing themselves for being liars, and then they came back to the app. So now it's like, okay, what was the truth? Because I have seen some people say like, oh, this was a lie or that was a lie. Like this famous guy with his mom had came out and said like, oh, this is his mom. But then he's like, no, this is not really my mom. So what's going on from now? Do you know what I mean? Like, are we keeping the lie going? Are we saying that that was just a joke? Like, what's really the tea here? Because so many people came forward and said that, and I feel like it was like an ongoing trend. Also, other people like this TikToker that we're going to be playing a TikTok with in today's video about, he called out Brianna Chickenfry and said that she was like the rudest influencer that she had ever met. Before we jump into that, though, I do want to briefly talk about this. I'm not going to be playing any clips from this because I just felt like it's too lengthy. And I was just like, you know what? Let's just talk about it, okay? I don't know if you guys had saw, but speaking of Brianna Chickenfry, she was on, I don't know his name, but one of the Nelk Boys podcasts. I stay forgetting their names. I know them as like a group, but I don't know their names. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, she was on a podcast to where he had basically said that he was going to hit up Grace and have Grace on the podcast and try to be like a peacemaker. As to where she was saying like, okay, like I would have been completely caught off guard if you did that. I want to say this too, y'all. Like low key, I would be so caught off guard, and I couldn't imagine myself. Like if I knew it was going to be a thing, if I knew I was going to go hash it out on a podcast, I would be open for that because then I could prepare mentally. But if I just walked in on it, there's no way in hell that I'm going to do that. Like, I just feel like I would be so caught off guard, and I'm just like, whoa, not mentally prepared for that. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, they go on to talk about Grace, right? And she says she never really understood why everybody was on Grace's side and why there are sides from this, okay?
What do you think about how the internet has reacted to that? Like, do you think more people have kind of sided with Grace?
Well, yeah, but I'm confused about what the siding is. It's just
You
like,
gotta pick. Well, that's how it goes.
but why? There was no,
When there's a split, people pick a side.
like, there was just no, like, there's no split. Like, I talked to Grace last week.
Okay, well then why wouldn't she show up today? Why
I don't
she wouldn't
know.
let the peacemaker make peace?
I don't know. I think it's better for her brand to
I think
not.
she's trying to, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she's also maybe being even around Steiny. She's thinking in her head isn't the best person to make peace.
Yeah, wouldn't think this, like, I wouldn't do
I really thought I had it. Like I had everything
What did you
mapped out.
text her?
It's like, yo, what's up? How you doing? She was like, yo, I'm doing good. What's up? Yo, I'm in New York. She was like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah. What if me, you, and Chickenfry did a podcast and I made the piece?
Like, if you texted me that, hey, you and Grace want to come out, I'd be like, shut the up, bro.
No, yeah, she ghosted me after that. Yeah, completely. And I like Grace. She's great. She's been nice to me, but
That's funny. Like,
yeah, I
you
don't think
really
I don't think I approached it the best way. But this was also last night. I was at the ball, like had a few drinks. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go.
you were
for
just
it.
like feeling like you had that,
Yeah.
that presidential power in you.
I want to say, as somebody who is not an avid watcher of her Plan Brie podcast, and I don't really follow along too much with the BFFs podcast. I've seen several of them before. I've seen several of the Plan Brie ones before, but I don't watch all the time. I find it kind of hard to believe that she doesn't realize where all of the internet is taking Grace's side within this scenario, because once again, if you guys did not keep up with the drama, I have to say this. When it came down to Brianna breaking up with, or Zach Bryan breaking up with Brianna, she said she was completely blindsided by this. But then Brie literally went on to do the same exact thing that Zach Bryan did to her publicly by announcing that the podcast was going to come to an end. And Grace didn't know that they were going to make any type of public statement, so this really caught her off guard and blindsided her as well too. And then she goes on to go, like, basically not fully do like a tell-all, but then she goes on the podcast to talk about Grace when it's kind of like, you didn't sign this $12 million NDA with Zach Bryan. Do you know what I mean? Because you obviously wanted to, you know, be able to speak your truth. And you don't really talk that much about Zach Bryan, but then you go on to talk about Grace. It's kind of like, okay, this is not really making sense here. And it's like, why are you speaking out about Grace, but then not about Zach Bryan? Anyways, I just thought it was really bizarre that she didn't really know what the beef was. You know what I mean? As far as like, why is everyone choosing Grace's side? I'm like, I don't even watch that much, and I can totally see why people are taking Grace's side. Like, it just, you know, makes sense in my head. Anyways, I do want to go ahead and play this TikTok right here to where this guy is saying that she is the rudest influencer that he has met. Go ahead and check it out.
Reality show for 5 days. She was an absolute raging bitch. Then at New York Fashion Week, you want to tell the story?
She just was very like, I don't like you.
She Hollywooded me at New York Fashion Week as if I didn't sit on a set with her in LA for 5 days just for her to rig a show for her best friend. And then I did her podcast, and she was just, you can just tell when someone's not excited to interview you. And she just wasn't excited. And the whole podcast was about me being a Philadelphia influencer. And then she did a live show in Philadelphia and didn't even ask me if I wanted to come, didn't ask me if I want tickets. She was so rude at New York Fashion Week that Grace DM'd me separately and was like, hey, I was really drunk last night, but it was really good seeing you. Because I feel like Grace was like scared to speak out for a sec. But yeah, Brianna Chickenfry is pretty awful. But who's surprised?
Wait, that's really cute too.
Cute.
Wait, does this have something on it? Oh yeah. Oh my god, that's so cute.
How cute.
Kind of giving kid.
Yeah, that Brianna. It sucks because I talked about it on the podcast and everybody thought it was about Remy, but I don't have a problem with Remy. I don't really know Remy like that, but wow, this is really cute.
Yeah.
Wait, this is so cute.
Yeah, I feel like this is a really good color for your like beard. That's like a weird thing to say.
Excellent.
You're welcome, Brianna.
I don't really have any other bad influencer interactions though. Have I complained about anyone else? I really don't care anymore. Like, we can say whatever.
I'm trying to think.
I hate to be that person who's like, everyone else is kind of nice. Like, honestly, like, I do feel like in that, like, barstool spectrum is, like, where I run into, like, more of the ruder people. Like, actually, like, the fashion girlies that I feel like most people online, like, think are rude, like Bridget, Kit, and all of them, they're so nice and normal. Like, they're not rude at all. Josh was so nice. So that was my issue. Like, we go to the New York Fashion Week party, and Josh is there with Brie. And I felt they were the hosts of the show that I filmed. And the way Josh went out of his way to say hi, introduced me to his girlfriend. They had just started dating at that point, took a picture with me. And Brie literally goes like this. She looks me up and down. She goes, and then we get in the same section as Brie. All you have to be is like a normal person. Be like, hey, Bran, how are you? Like, I literally filmed a show with you. Like, I filmed your show. And she just wouldn't give me the time of day. Everything this is all from Elwood. So that gray one, this is from Elwood. So yeah, she's the only rude influencer that I've ever interacted with, to be quite honest.
As y'all see from right there, he is calling her out, and low key, I love the fact that he's calling her out by name. He's not being shy about it, and I could really appreciate that. I have to say this though, it seems to be an ongoing thing. Like, so many people have problems with Brie. I actually just mentioned it within a Tarte video too, to where this girl Ken had came forward and said that she didn't like her. I want to say that Tana Mojo had some beef with her too. Like, I'm just kind of like, what's going on here, and how come this is always a problem with Brie? And look, at the end of the day, I know there's two sides to every story, but obviously the common denominator here is Brie. And like I said before, I feel like she gives off that energy to where she thinks that she's better than. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I feel like she just grew like stardom basically, or like fame on the internet really, really fast. And I feel like that got to her head. You know what's so crazy though, is I've never heard bad things about like Tana Mojo, and I feel like she blew up pretty quickly, but she remains humble. She remembers where she came from, and obviously stays like rooted within that. But then I feel like somebody like Brie, it's kind of like, girl, like, you know, maybe you need to simmer down, because why are all these people calling you out? And I just think it's an ongoing thing. Any which ways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.